And welcome back everyone. So now in this video we are going to be learning about how you can make your own REST API and actually test it using the software we downloaded called Postman. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get started with the project, right? So first I'm going to write npm init, and we're going to the standard procedure. We've been here before. So you get your package.json here, change this scripts and put a proper script right here as we had done before. Okay, so that's done. Now we'll create an index.js file. Alright, and we'll install some more modules which we will be needing. So npm install, we'll install express, we'll install something known as cors, we'll install something known as body parser, and we're gonna hit enter. And after it's installed, let's clear this and exit. Alright, so now we need to create a server, obviously. So we're gonna write app equals to require express, right? And we're gonna do app.listen, and we're gonna say 3000 comma console.log connected to server. Alright, and we can also do an app.get here to make sure. Alright, after we do that, it is connected to server, and if we fire up the browser and we go to localhost 3000, it says server is up. So we know that our server is running, and this is pretty standard and we've done it before in this course. And if you do not know what is actually happening, you should go back to the previous videos and check that out. So now first let's create a folder called routes, and in that folder let's create our first, say something like routes, route.js. So now we will use what we said about module.expose. If you remember, we're going to use that concept. We're going to use the concept of middlewares. We're going to use express routing, a lot of things. So let's get started. So first what we're going to do is we're going to say const routes equals to require, and then we're going to give the relative path of this JS file called routes. So routes, alright, and then we're going to use something like app.use slash routes comma routes. So what this will do is it will make the express app which we've created go to this routes file, and it will make it use it. Basically, this is how you can set a middleware, or you can tell the express app to actually use this route, whatever you created here, in its app. So here we're gonna do const router, any variable name. I prefer to use router, and we're going to require it, which will be express dot, and we're gonna write router. So what this express router does is it allows us to create multiple routes. So in this video we'll be creating a very basic route, which will be a simple get request. So we're gonna do router.get, and we're gonna write ping, comma, and we're gonna write a request and response. So what basically it means, request and response, is that request is what you actually get and response is what you actually have to send. So this will be pretty simple. What it'll do is, if it gets ping, it'll send res dot send, and we'll send pong. Alright, we're gonna do this. We're gonna hit save. We're gonna write module dot exports equals router. So after we've actually done this is very important to do module dot exports router. And after we've done module dot exports router, this routes here. So what will actually happen is, it'll be localhost 3000 slash routes slash ping. You get how it's actually working? So if you make another router here and say that one is pong, so it'll be slash routes slash pong. That's how you can actually route it. So now we'll go to Postman. So Postman is a software which makes it very easy to test all your APIs. So we'll give it some time to load. Alright, first we'll make sure that our thing is running. We haven't switched on our app yet. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do npm start. It says there's no Nodemon. Oh, we forgot to install Nodemon. So we'll install Nodemon. And then do an npm start. Alright, so now it's connected to server. So now we should be able to go to Postman, and we'll create an untitled request. You don't have to worry about anything, and you have to write here http localhost 3000 slash routes slash ping. So this was our route, and the response we should get is a pong. And if we go here, we'll see that the response we get is pong. So Postman is very useful when it comes to actually writing something, and then if you want to test it, it would be very tedious, right, to have a front-end developer make an API call and then test it. It would be pretty easy if there was a tool for us to actually test it properly, and Postman gives us the exact right graphical interface for it. So now let's actually make some changes to our code. So here, instead of doing a res.sendPong, I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to write res.json, and I'm going to create a JavaScript object, and I'm going to say response, and response has to be pong. I'm going to hit save, and it again is connected to server. And now when I hit save, it gives me a proper structured data, or a JSON data, which says response, and the response is pong. So this is where actually JSON comes in. So now if you actually want to send a proper data to your front end, they wouldn't like you sending just normal text data, right? They would want you to send proper data to them. This is how you can actually serialize the data properly in the JSON and send it to them, so that it's easier for them to actually represent it. Well, that's all for this video. Now what I'll do in the next video is, I'll teach you how to create a post route and a patch route. So stay tuned.